In week 1, we learned that almost everything is a remix. We watched Dale Doherty's TED Talk, We Are All Makers, and learned about the Maker Education Initiative. We watched a 4-part video series from Kirby Ferguson entitled Everything is a Remix, where we learned about intellectual property rights. We read Failing with Style by Fernanda Viegas and part of Remix by Lawrence Lessig. Finally, we learned how to use WeVideo to create a remixed video. This was a great way to get us thinking about how to reuse existing knowledge to create new learning. I would challenge students to learn about remixing and to explore video creation with WeVideo. While I was not the biggest fan of WeVideo, it does lay the foundation for students to learn how to create and edit video and audio. Remixing is also an entertaining way to introduce intellectual property laws. In week 2, we were introduced to MSU's Dr. Punya Mishra and the Deep Play Research Group through several readings and a video presentation on rethinking technology and creativity. This helped to show the relationship between maker education and learning theory. We used Evernote to document our research and gather ideas for the maker project kits we chose. I chose the Raspberry Pi 2. Week 2 also gave us an opportunity to repurpose existing items from a thrift shop into our maker projects. I found an old monitor, keyboard, and mouse from the MSU surplus store to incorporate with the RP2 to turn it into a functioning computer. I made a video on how to assemble the RP2 and another video on how to use the RP2 to teach computer programming animation software Scratch. Repurposing showed me that sometimes we can integrate technological changes in the classroom with minimal financial impact, as well as how we can use these items for their unintended purpose to create new meaning. In week 3, we reimagined learning through Richard Collada's TEDx talk. Richard challenged those that know how to use technology to reimagine learning. After reading 3 chapters from How People Learn by Bransford, Brown, and Cocking, I chose to write on immediate effect. Providing immediate effect through digital technology is something I am capable of doing with my programming background. I would bring immediate feedback into the classroom with custom applications I create in out-of-the-box solutions like Socrative. I also researched the IFAT, Immediate Feedback Assessment Technique. I would love to try this out in the classroom as it offers students a chance to earn partial credit. It also provides feedback in a timely manner which can produce meaningful self-assessment and self-adjustment. I would also like to try to digitalize the IFAT to help integrate technology to support student learning. In week 4, we participated in an online maker conversation using Zoom. I would use this in the classroom as a way to facilitate collaboration and sharing between students when distance or timing is an issue. We explored instructional design by Stephen Elon to prepare for our lesson plan assignment. I also did research on Common Core standards to help align these standards with my lesson plan. My lesson plan explained how to create an animated presentation using Scratch on the Raspberry Pi 2. My lesson plan was also available in video format to help fill in any questions educators might have. I would definitely use this lesson plan in my classroom as I would love to see how it is received by students as well as how learning occurs during it. I would also be very interested to see what students create using Scratch after learning has occurred. In week 5, we learned about a broader definition of design from IDEO CEO David Kelly. We saw many innovative designs which incorporate technology like the Science Museum of London. We learned about creative confidence as exemplified in the MRI machine designed to look like a tree fort, as this helped raise MRI completion rates in children to 80%. We learned how emotion is a large part of experience from Teddy Van Gelderen and how time, order, and participation are all integral parts of designing an experience. We also learned about a new project called Remake Your Class, which led into our assignment, Design Our Ideal Classroom using the 3D modeling software SketchUp. I think using SketchUp in an organic chemistry classroom would be a perfect way to build molecular models which are traditionally done with plastic pieces. You could even use SketchUp to label areas and create more in-depth, accurate models of molecules. In week 6, we read about the maker movement in education in articles by Halverson and Sheridan, as well as 3 of their case studies on maker spaces. We created a note in Padlet, a bulletin board-like app involving a takeaway from the articles. This led into the week's assignment, which was to create an infographic. While there are many ways to make infographics, I enjoy using Pictochart. I used Mark Hatch's Maker Movement Manifesto to create my infographic on the 9 key principles for getting started with maker education. These 9 principles are a great place for anyone to learn more about becoming a maker, instructing makers, or opening a maker space. I would have my students create infographics using Piktochart as they offer free accounts with many free templates. They also offer the ability to upload up to 40 megabytes of your own photos. I would share my knowledge on how to use open source art and Photoshop to add custom graphics and colors to infographics. In week 7, we wrapped up the course by learning about assessing creativity from Grant Wiggins. Wiggins and McTee's Understanding by Design offers 3 basic questions to help think like an assessor. We also read a case study by Eric Eiselhart on implementing a project-based learning curriculum at Green Street Academy. We finished the course with James Paul Gee explaining grading with games as a way to incorporate technology into assessment. For my final blog post, I used the 3 basic rules, a standards map, Wiggins' framework for assessing creativity, and key takeaways from Eric Eiselhart's case study to explain how I would assess creativity and learning in maker-inspired assignments. I believe that by focusing on impact, we can help students practice, get feedback, and self-adjust as Wiggins suggests. I hope that institutions embrace project-based learning and inspire the next generation of makers.